So, in round 1 of this hellscape, I played the hero and handed the god-tier delete system to my girl, Stella, and I kept the worthless inventory system. Big mistake. She spent the end of the world cozying up to Troy, her secret side piece. Locked out, swarmed by zombs, died like a total chump. Round 2. I'm back, and she snags that system first. Little does she know, using that power literally drains your soul, but my useless storage? It can hold an entire city's worth of loot. This time, I'm using my stash to build a literal fortress against the coming ice age and making her pay for the betrayal. I'm back 7 days early. Nothing but white space everywhere. Neon light pulses through the air like some high-budget science fiction flick. 2 huge gold holograms are just floating there. On the left, the Hoard system, endless storage. Time stops inside. Pull items out with your mind. No living things allowed, though. The clear system on the right nukes anything you look at. Costs your stamina, though. I've seen this movie before. This was the day Stella and I got our powers. Back then, I was actually worried about her safety. She played the fragile card. I thought scavenging was too hard for her, so I played the hero and picked the nuking power. Every single use felt like an ice pick to the brain. I charged ahead anyway, clearing every path and holding off the undead just so she could sit pretty and reap the rewards. But when I was bleeding out and begging for help, the girl with the keys locked me out and watched me die. Suddenly, a sweet voice calls out. Stella blinks. Damian, I'm grabbing the red one. She looks at me. You cool with that, Damian? You're always my knight in armor. Let me handle the fighting. That closet power fits a careful guy like you. Supply guy, huh? Protect me? Hilarious. I only survived that system last time because I was built different and actually knew how to fight. This girl literally can't even open a soda bottle alone. One blast of that system, and she'll be stuck in bed for 3 whole days. I reach out, touching the gold infinity symbol. Light wraps me up. Inside my head, a massive vault door creaks open. This endless silent void sinks right up to my brain. Finally, that sense of security hits me. System locked. Host, Damian. Ability, infinite freaking hoarding. Level 1. Ready for the end. The white glow vanishes. I wake up on my leather couch, back home. Stella's awake across from me, grinning like an idiot. She's waving her hands around, testing her flashy new toys. My crystal ashtray just blinks out of existence. I say one thing. Leave. Her fake little smile just dies. She looks confused. Look, this is my apartment and my name is on the deed. You have 10 minutes to pack and vanish. You're kicking me out? Are you serious? I've got the ultimate power and the world is literally ending. You really want to cross me now? When the sky falls and you come crawling back, don't expect a single thing from me. So your god power is deleting dirty laundry? Hilarious. Did you forget your skill only knows how to erase stuff? It won't summon a sandwich. So what? I've got a ton of ways to get my hands on food. Anyone who tries to stop me will seriously regret it. Is that so? Well, good luck then. I show her the door. Finally, the dead weight is gone. That snake was always ready to plant a knife in my back. Now I can finally move without holding back. 7 days until the end. Right now, I'm sitting on a downtown penthouse worth about $8 million. My folks' savings add up to $3 million. 11 million total. Not even close to enough for a fortress against -70 degrees. Smash a zombie army, and I need to tank a missile strike while living like a king for several lifetimes. 11 million won't even scratch the surface. I post the penthouse and sell it instantly. Then I call some private lenders, basically high-interest loan sharks. I've got my papers ready. If the cash is fast, I'll sign whatever deal these vultures throw my way. The world's ending in days, so who's gonna collect? By the afternoon, the penthouse is gone for $6 million. Cashed out $5 million in shares. Maxed every credit card and loan app for another $2 million. Total liquid cash? $16 million. Tomorrow, the sharks cough up at least $3 million more. Looking at those bank numbers, I don't feel rich, just rushed. Cash is trash. Supplies are the only thing that matters. I walk out, hop in the SUV I haven't sold yet, and head straight for the abandoned cold storage park in the western suburbs. Used to be the biggest fridge in the whole damn city. Remote, wide open terrain, easy to defend, but a total nightmare to break into. Here is the jackpot, a massive underground cold room. It is a bit overgrown, sure, but it is basically the ultimate hideout. I tracked down the old geezer watching the place and slapped a handful of gold coins right in front of him. I told him I am opening a horror escape room for 2 weeks. No paperwork, just the keys. His fake teeth nearly popped out from grinning. He handed them over without a word and pedaled home on his rusty little tricycle. I step inside. It is huge, 3,000 square meters, 8 meters high. System, map it. Lock the space anchor. Done. Now this place is my personal supply station. Anything I buy can be teleported here instantly just by thinking about it. Base secured. Now to stock up. But I am not hitting the local grocery store like some brainless zombie movie extra. That is rookie stuff. Instead, I drive straight to the biggest wholesale food market in the entire city. I stroll into the largest grain and oil depot on the whole block. The boss is there, cigarette dangling, buried in his books. He barely looks up. What you need, kid? Forget that retail junk. I am here for rice. I am scanning the massive stacks around the shop. Price per ton for the top shelf Wong rice? He laughs. How much you need? I just grin. How much you got? He has got 50 tons of Wong, 100 of the basic stuff, and 80 tons of flour. Thinks I am buying for a school. I whip out my black card and slap it on the counter. Everything. The oil, the noodles, the whole damn inventory. And get me another 500 tons of rice and 300 of flour. 3 days. No later. Fresh crop only. Don't give me old dust. This is 10 million bucks, kid. You for real? One rule, I say. Deliver it to my address. Once the trucks are empty, your guys vanish. No questions. Ever. His face goes bright red. Business has been trash lately, so I am his miracle. He starts barking orders at his crew immediately. Within minutes, the entire market is a circus. Everyone is scrambling. It is total chaos. I buy everything, meat, fruit, gear. By sundown, the first heavy rigs are rolling into my secret warehouse out west. The massive cold room is now filled with mountain-sized piles of supplies. It is beautiful. I walk up to a 50-ton hill of rice, touch it, store, boom, gone, just like that. I shut my eyes and dive deep into the storage dimension of the system. In that endless white void, 50 tons of rice are just floating, perfectly shaped. Not a single grain out of place. Time is dead in here. Nothing rots. Nothing changes. God, the power. It is a total rush. Controlling the world from my pocket, intoxicating. But for the apocalypse, snacks are only half the battle. It is going to hit 60 below. Without heat, this food is just a very expensive brick. I would be a human popsicle. I call my guy Ghost. I need coal, 10,000 tons of the premium anthracite, now. And get me industrial diesel generators and solar panels enough to cover every square inch of the roof. I am not just hoarding snacks for a decade. I am building a fortress that could laugh in the face of a nuke. My phone pings. It is Stella. She sent a photo. Typical. She is at some fancy French joint with Troy. Snails and expensive wine. Poor Damian, she writes. Bet you are crying over ramen since we dumped you. Troy and I are having a fresh start. Beg me and maybe I will toss you a crust. I just laugh. Eat up, babe. Really savor it. Because that is the last real meal they will ever have. Blocked. Phone off. Sparks are flying across the factory floor. Grinders are screaming and saws are cutting. I am up on the iron walkway watching the beautiful disaster. I light up a smoke. My contractor looks up at me. Boss, isn't this a little much? Hex is staring at the blueprints like they are written in a foreign language. He is totally lost. You want 50 centimeters of space-grade insulation and double layers of 20mm bulletproof steel on every wall? Are you building a bunker for a nuclear strike? Only 2 air vents? Both with biofiltration? This is going to cost a fortune. I shrug. Check your bank. 5 million just landed. 3 days. One rule. No questions. No photos. No TikToks. Hex gulps. That is 2 full years of profit in one afternoon. Boss, you are basically my hero. Hex thumps his chest, then spins around and starts screaming at the workers. Move it! Go rip the panels off that new luxury site downtown. Pay them off if they complain. See, I am not just building a shelter. I am building my own kingdom. Welcome to my personal bubble. A legit self-sustaining world far away from the dumpster fire outside. I'm hitting the back of the warehouse since a fresh drop of top-tier gear just landed. We crack those heavy crates and bam, nothing but that icy, dark metallic shine. Definitely not your basic hardware store steel. I'm talking high-voltage fence tech and thick, military-grade blast-proof glass. I got 'em through some, let's just say off-the-book connections. When the world ends, the real monsters aren't the shambling dead, it's the neighbors you thought you knew. Once people get cold and starving, they turn into wild animals. Basic window shutters? They're basically wet paper against a hungry mob. But a few thousand volts? That'll teach them some manners real quick. System, grab these materials and put them exactly where the plans say. Let the grunts handle the manual labor. For the high-stakes defensive layout, I only trust the system. While the crew is off grabbing lunch, I make a move with just a thought. Those massive slabs of blast glass? Poof. Dozens of tons of heavy-duty materials just vanish into thin air. Then, guided by that perfect machine logic, they slide right into the skylight frames at the very top of the plant. This isn't just about avoiding hours of crane work. It's about a level of perfection no human could ever touch. The skeleton is done. Time for the vibe check. I peel out of the lot and head straight for the city's biggest luxury home expo center. If I'm going to survive this hellish apocalypse, I'm doing it in style. No way am I compromising on my quality of life. Smart tech, high-end furniture, the works. I'm literally buying every single thing I see. The salesgirl is practically vibrating, her pen flying across the pad with this permanent, crazy grin. She's looking at me like I'm a literal god of cash. Next stop, the outdoor pro shop. Now things get real. I grab those top-tier polar survival suits rated for -80 degrees. 50 sets, both genders, tactical boots, heated gloves, goggles, ice axes, everything. Shovels, every tool on that display, and every single pack of those self-heating military rations they have left. All of it. Right in the middle of my spree, I hear a familiar, annoying voice coming from the VIP lounge. "Oh babe, look at this jacket. It's over 3,000 though." I stop dead and slowly turn around. Stella is posing with some pink fleece thing while Troy sits there staring at his phone, looking totally checked out. "Stella, chill. We gotta watch the cash. Damian sold that place and didn't give us a single red cent. We gotta think about tomorrow. Honestly, I don't care. In 5 days, they'll be living worse than street dogs." Construction at the site is moving insanely fast. In just 24 hours, this drafty old factory has been overhauled into a legit ironclad fortress. Thick insulation covers every inch of the walls while silver thermal film shines under the lights. Windows are sealed. Only the bulletproof slits remain. 3 massive steel blast doors stand in a row at the front door. Each one weighs 2 full tons. "Boss, that thing you wanted." Heck pulls me aside, acting all secretive, and hands me a heavy wooden box. Took some real work to find this. It's a decommissioned breaching axe from the fire department. I had the blade retempered. This beast could split a steel security door like it's nothing. I pop the lid. A matte black tactical axe sits there, looking both brutal and gorgeous. The blade glints with a deadly chill. The handle's got a paracord wrap for better grip. I give him a satisfied little nod. As the last truck rolls out, the massive iron gate groans shut. I'm standing in my own steel fortress, surrounded by absolute mountains of gear. Left side? The food zone, 1,000 tons of rice, flour, and oil enough to last 100 years. Right side? Diesel barrels, anthracite coal, and rows of solar battery arrays. Dead center? The lounge. Unopened luxury furniture, high-end tech, games, and books. I've maxed out what money can buy legally, but my subspace stash is still only half full. If buying isn't an option, I'll take it. I gear up in a black tactical suit, slide on my night vision, and clip that axe to my belt. Next target, the East Harbor Bonded Logistics Center, the biggest hub in town. Thousands of shipping containers are stacked like massive Legos on the docks, packed with high-end goods shipped from every single corner of the globe. Australian beef, French wine, Japanese Wagyu, even whole shipments of fancy foreign cars. Right now, I'm just a shadow in the corner, like a leopard waiting to pounce. System, activate full-range scan. A pulse ripples out, covering a 500-kilometer radius in a heartbeat. Millions of tiny light dots start flickering to life in my mind. Every container is tagged with a full list of what's inside. The second I spot the medicine, my eyes lock in. People think gold is the ultimate flex, but when the world ends, a pack of meds is the real bag. Boom, this massive steel box full of drugs just poofs off the dock and into my secret pocket. Cameras are still doing their little spin, totally clueless. Rent-A-Cop is out cold in his booth. Not a single soul saw me hit that lick. Just like that, tens of millions in gear is mine now. I am sliding through these container aisles like a literal ghost. Finger snap, gone. Another snap, gone. Then I see some real heat. 20 off-road snowmobiles built for the deep freeze. Oh, I am definitely taking those. I cannot help but smirk. Swiped every single one. Right as I am dipping, I hear the loud roar of engines coming my way. A fleet of blacked-out, jacked-up SUVs comes flying into the port, screeching to a halt right at some secret warehouse. Doors fly open and out come 12 tatted-up dudes with bats and some janky-looking guns. The leader is this bald tank of a guy, screaming at his goons to hurry the hell up. Apparently, some boss named Dragon wants this stuff gone tonight because the feds are snooping. The crates have danger written all over them. I squint and pop a long-range scan. Let us see what we got. High-grade explosives and detonators. This is the Black Shark Gang's play the baddest crew in this city. Back in my first life, these clowns used their guns to hijack the city stadium and built that nasty-ass camp everyone feared. Old me would have bailed, but now, this is a total freebie. Finders, keepers, losers. Well, losers lose everything. I sneak around to the back using my system radar to stay invisible. Bingo. The whole building is in range. System, lock onto every single boombox in there. Grab it all. Suddenly, the goons inside feel their hands go light. The boxes they are holding just. Poof. Not just those, but every stack in the whole room. Safes full of triggers? Gone. Total radio silence. 12 gangsters are standing there holding air like idiots, looking at each other. It is hilariously awkward. Dragon, it is all gone. The leader loses it, waving his piece around and screaming at nothing. I am already blocks away. Meanwhile, the news is talking about some blue alert cold snap coming. Mercury is supposed to dip 10 or 15 degrees. Nobody cares. Just wear a hoodie, they say. Not me. I am hunkered down in my fortress, doors and windows welded tight. Just one way in. My diesel generators are humming, ready to kick in the second things get dicey. I have got the fireplace loaded with high-grade coal. On the table, a fancy hot pot and some grade 9 Wagyu beef I swiped from the docks. Fresh veggies are ready, and I have even got a bottle of expensive Lafitte wine decanted. I hop on my phone for one last doom scroll. Stella just posted. She is in some tiny dress on a balcony, looking all pretty with the city lights. Her caption says, "Winter is coming, but I am staying warm. Thanks for the surprise. The future is lit." Some haters can just rot with their shady cash. I smirk and drop a comment. Enjoy that breeze, babe. It is the last bit of fresh air you will ever get. I pop my SIM card and chuck it in the fire. Right then, the rain stops. Then, thud. A hailstone big as a ping pong ball smacks the bulletproof glass. Hard. Then a whole wave of it hits like a machine gun, followed by a screaming wind. Temperature is tanking. My screen blows up with an alert. Breaking news. A massive polar vortex is about to drop the temperature 50 degrees in 3 hours. Get home now. This is not a joke. 10 minutes later, the whole world turns a weird color. Wind and snow are absolutely wrecking the streets. This is not that cute movie snow. It is literal ice shards shredding everything. I am just chilling in my command center, watching the chaos on my screens. My spot is on the edge of town, but my high-definition cams show the absolute slaughter on the highway. The road turned into a giant skating rink of black ice in minutes. It is already negative 30 degrees out there and dropping a full degree every single minute. Downtown, Stella is bundled in her pricey cashmere blanket, but she is shaking like a leaf. Her face is ghost white and her lips are turning purple. The building heat just died, and the pipes are popping like firecrackers. Inside temps already 5 below. Move your butt. We're literally turning into human popsicles. She gives Troy a hard shove. Quit whining. I'm freezing too. How'd the weather go psycho this fast? Find the heat pads. Move it! They're tossing bags and tearing through drawers. Only 9 pads left. That's a death sentence for tonight. Wait, Damian. Troy looks like he just saw a miracle. Damian's loaded. He's definitely cozy in some suite or got serious gear. Call him now. Stella grabs the phone like a lifeline, her hands shaking so bad she can barely hit the numbers. The number you have dialed is currently switched off. Stella goes nuclear and chucks her phone at the couch. That absolute snake actually turned his phone off. Hold on, I remember something. Didn't he mention the western suburbs? He said something about renting some factory. He's hiding there, for sure. Let's go hunt him down in this mess. If we stay, we're toast. They layer up in every rag they own, fight downstairs, and jump into the ride. Suburbs, now! I'll make that loser kneel in the snow and beg for my forgiveness after how he treated me. Back at the factory, I'm just chilling, watching the monitors. A pack of stray dogs is huddled up, shaking like crazy. Suddenly, their eyes go blood red and their teeth start growing. This isn't some flu, it's the permafrost zombie virus. I check my watch. I figure it'll take Stella and her new boy toy about 2 hours to get here. That's assuming they don't turn into ice blocks or get snacked on. Honestly, I hope they make it. This show needs a crowd. I get up, walk to the desk, and slam the red button. Combat mode. Level 1. Hit it. The high-voltage fence on the perimeter starts buzzing and popping like crazy in the middle of the storm. Blue lightning arcs through the snow, looking like a giant spider web just waiting for a fly to land. Safe behind my wall, I lift my wine glass toward the screen. A little toast. The blizzard is a total disaster. Can't see 5 feet ahead. The wind is screaming like 10,000 saws cutting through the air. A white BMW X5 is zigzagging through 20 inches of snow. Why aren't we there? 12 miles, you said. Shut it. Troy can't even feel the wheel. His hands are a nasty shade of blue-purple. GPS says it's right here. I just can't see the road. A loud crack echoes. The car slams downward. Then the engine just gives up. The bottom of the car is totally hung up on a ridge of solid ice in the middle of the street. It's so cold out that the drive shaft just snaps like a frozen twig. The car's officially a coffin. Troy punches the wheel and hisses in pain. Stella screams, "You trying to get me killed? You useless piece of trash. Get out." That big shadow up ahead, that's gotta be the place. They start walking into the whiteout. They struggle forward until the massive silhouette of the factory finally looms out of the storm. They practically crawl to the gate on their knees, but what they see kills their vibe. This isn't some old warehouse. It's a literal steel fortress. Damian, I know you're in there. Open the freaking door. Stella hammers on the heavy steel gate. Me? I'm just kicking back on the leather sofa, watching the screens. Two tiny red heat spots are clinging to the gate like a pair of pathetic flies. I give my wine a little swirl. In the copper pot next to me, the spicy red broth is at a boil. Slices of tripe are bobbing in the bubbles, filling the room with an amazing spicy smell. System. Outside mic on. Online. Who's that? Banging on doors in the middle of the night? You're killing my peace and quiet, guys. Damian, it's me. I'm your girlfriend. Open up. It's freezing and we're literally dying out here. Man, this tripe is getting overcooked. I take a beat. Sorry, who's this outside again? Stella almost loses her mind. She's out there shivering like a dog and he's inside having a spicy hot pot party. It's Stella. Open the door. Once I'm in, I'll explain everything. It was just a big misunderstanding, okay? Just let us in. I put down my chopsticks and grabbed the mic. The slap was a misunderstanding? Telling me to kick rocks was a misunderstanding? Or letting me rot like a stray? That a misunderstanding too? I was just mad, Damian. Don't be like that. You're a man. Why be so petty? Fine, I messed up. I'm saying sorry now. Isn't that enough for you? If sorry fixed things, we wouldn't need the feds. You've got the clear system, right? Door in your way? Wipe it. Whatever. If you won't open up, I'll do it myself. And don't you dare come crawling to me later. Pure rage flashes in Stella's eyes. She takes a deep breath, even though her fingers are frozen, stiff, and barely move. She slams her palm against the steel. A wave of energy rips through her. Wipe! This massive blast of crimson energy erupts right from her hand, thwacking the door with everything she's got, but the thing doesn't even budge. Instead, that red light smacks into some kind of invisible shield and zaps right back at her, leaving Stella's arm totally numb as she wipes out into the snow. My system starts pinging. Target density is off the charts. Looks like the door is juiced up with some high-level energy reinforcement. Trying to force your way in is basically a suicide mission. I let out a jagged laugh through the intercom, not feeling a shred of pity for them. Listen up, princess. That door is made of $5 million worth of aerospace-grade alloy. Plus, my setup is a total hard counter to yours. Your little clear ability is useless here. My fortress system is way out of your league. A sharp hiss echoes as the speaker cuts, and suddenly the floodlights above the main gate kick on with a vengeance. Two massive, blinding beams hit them square in the eyes, leaving them completely blind and helpless as Stella just sits there shivering in the drifts. The freezing air is literally chewing on her bones while she stares at a door that's never opening, feeling that first real hit of soul-crushing despair. 30 minutes crawl by and the duo hasn't moved an inch, mostly because their car is officially a giant paperweight. Out in this frozen wasteland, trying to walk back is basically signing your own death warrant. But then this low mechanical hum starts vibrating above them. They both struggle to even lift their heads to see what's going on. About 3 meters up the wall, a vent slides open and this scent drifts out. It's so freaking good it feels like a religious experience. We're talking spicy beef hot pot broth, simmering lamb, and just a hint of fresh scallions cutting through the steam. In a world that smells like rot and ice, that aroma is like a straight-up invitation to heaven, and Stella can't help but gulp down nothing. Troy's stomach lets out a growl that sounds like a literal earthquake. You guys hungry? I ask, my voice sounding smooth and cold as ice. I'm just chilling on the second-floor balcony, holding a half-finished bowl of steaming hot pot, looking down at those two miserable wrecks like they're just stray dogs begging for a handout. Please, just a sip of the broth, they whimper. Troy finally snaps his pride and dignity just evaporate when the lizard brain takes over for survival. He hits his knees in the slush and starts bowing like his life depends on it, so I just smirk and drop a juicy slice of beef from my chopsticks. It falls through the air and lands with a nasty splat right in the dirty gray slush in front of them. Troy goes for it like a madman. But Stella is actually faster. This is a girl who used to refuse anything but expensive bottled water. Now, she's diving like a wild animal, grabbing that piece of meat covered in road, salt, and filth, and she just shoves it in, not even bothering to blow on it. It's scorching her tongue, but she doesn't care, she just gulps it down whole. Good, right? Stella just nods, tears streaking down her face, looking like a total mess and not giving a single damn. Glad you're a fan. Here, have the rest. I grab a bowl of leftovers, bones, spicy peppers, and some soggy, gross-looking leaves, and just dump the whole thing out the window, right onto the little spot where they're huddled together. That boiling liquid hits the negative 40-degree ground and turns into a sheet of solid ice instantly. The only dry spot they had is now a freaking skating rink. Oops, I say, sounding about as sincere as a used car salesman. Anyway, you guys should probably bounce. My sensors are picking up some unwanted guests coming for dinner. Looks like that hot pot smell invited some friends, and before they can even blink, a bunch of glowing green eyes pop up in the blizzard. This low, nasty growl comes ripping through the wind, zombie dogs, and they're hungry. Troy grabs Stella and tries to bolt. But the ground is total ice. They both lose their footing and slam face first into the freezing snow. That one slip is all it takes. The lead dog, this mutated Tibetan Mastiff the size of a bull with rotting skin, is already on them. Its massive jaws crunch down right on Troy's thigh, and he starts screaming like he's being put through a meat grinder. But in that second of pure panic, this cold psycho look flashes in Troy's eyes. Without thinking twice, he grabs Stella and chucks her straight into the monster's mouth so he can roll away and save his own skin. "What are you doing?" Stella yells, terrified, as the massive, stinking beast closes in on her neck. It's do or die, and that survival switch just flips in her brain as she stares into the dog's throat. That red icon in her head is going absolutely ballistic. "Just go away," she screams internally. This time, she isn't aiming at a 5-ton steel door, she's aiming at something made of flesh and blood. That giant mastiff's head, just 1 centimeter from her nose, literally vanishes in a spray of gore, deleted from reality. The headless dog carcass slams into her with enough weight to nearly crush her, but she's still breathing. She survived, and she realized something huge. Her power might suck at opening doors, but it's a total death sentence for anything living. Up on the balcony, I put down my binoculars and crack a smile. I knew she had a little spark in her. She's got an S-tier combat power. If she bites it this early, where's the fun in the sequel? Since they aren't leaving, I'll toss them a bone. My voice rings out again. 200 meters east. Find the booth. Old guard shack. Windows are trashed, but hey, at least it has a roof over their heads. That is your only shot at making it through tonight. Windows slammed shut. Lights out. Losers. Left alone in the dark, 2 frozen kids stand there while glowing green eyes circle them. Move it. Booth. Now. Stella kicks the dead mud off and stands up, shaky. She ignores Troy completely. She hasn't forgotten that shove. Right before those zombie dogs close the gap, they scramble like crazy for the crumbling security shack. The booth is tiny, freezing, and open to the wind. Windows are smashed, and the door won't even close, but beats being a human popsicle in the open snow. It's a total dump, but it is our dump. They patch the gaps with trash and newspapers, then just crash hard on the gross, dusty floor. Troy gasps, "You okay, babe?" He reaches for her hand with this fake-ass smile. "Look, earlier, I was just trying to shove the dog away, not you. Back off. Don't touch me." Stella shuts him down with cold precision, her eyes looking like straight-up ice. After that mess, her sweet, delicate act finally breaks. The mask is officially off. Now it is just pure, selfish math. Don't think I can't see right through your head, Troy. Troy, I only kept you around because you were hot and actually smart. Right now, you're freaking worthless. If you ever dare touch me again, I'll rip your head off just like those zombie dogs. Understand? Troy freezes up. He is just staring at the blood wiped across the side of Stella's face. Pissed off, he hides the look fast. He knows. Stella is the one with the system powers now. No free food, but she could delete him in a second. He's got to suck it up. Then, hunger strikes again. That tiny bit of beef from earlier is long gone. The cold is literally sucking the life out of them. Check the place. Someone stayed here once. There has got to be a snack somewhere. Troy, totally desperate to be useful, starts digging through the literal garbage heap in the shack. Just as he's giving up, his fingers hit something hard in a dark corner. He pulls it out. A frozen sausage link that fell into the floorboards. The wrapper is chewed up and the meat is frozen solid like a red rock. To Troy, it's freaking gold. Instinct takes over and he tries to hide it in his jacket. Hand it over. Stella's voice is like ice. Troy stops cold, then turns around with a forced fake laugh. Yo, look what I found. We can split it, right? Give it to me. Stella's hand starts pulsing with a scary red glow. The threat is loud and clear. Troy grumbles and hands it over. Stella grabs it. She ain't sharing a thing. She rips the plastic off, ignores the germs, and just goes for it. The frozen meat cuts her gums, but she is so hungry the taste of starch is like straight up heaven. She devours 2/3 of it in seconds, leaving just a tiny, pathetic scrap at the end. Seeing Troy's pathetic, hungry dog eyes, Stella just snorts and tosses the tiny scrap at him like she's feeding a beggar. Consider yourself lucky, kid. From now on, anything you find belongs to me first. You only eat what I leave behind. Got it? Troy grabs the dirty scrap and eats it, plastic and all. He hides his face, but his eyes are burning with pure liquid hate. Stella, just wait. When I get powers or the snow stops, you're gonna pay for this. Meanwhile, 200 meters away in my bunker, I'm chilling in a heated whirlpool bath with my tablet. The web is dead, but my pro-grade satellite is still grabbing feeds from all over the globe. Headlines are scrolling. New York City is basically in a total state of emergency. Manhattan is an ice cube. Tokyo's rioting. The army's gone dark. Then there's China. Emergency broadcasts say the government went full lockdown. Official shelters are open in every region. Local shelter, the city sports center. I stare at those coordinates, tapping the tub with my finger. In my previous life, that spot was the biggest official fortress at the start of all this. But since everyone flocked there, food ran out fast and the management went totally south. Food riots kicked off in under a month. Tens of thousands died. That's exactly when Stella and her power became nothing but a basic tool for the government engineering crews. She spent her days clearing ice roads just to get half a freaking bun. History is repeating itself. I shut the news and open up my system menu. Stockpile, 32,000 tons. Level, 1. Experience, 10%. Upgrade requirements next. Goal, bag 10 level. 1 zombie cores. I hop out of the tub, dripping. Last time around, people didn't realize zombie brains were basically gold mines until month 3. I'm already ahead of the game. Most walkers are empty-headed, but those mutated mutts from earlier? They're usually packing some serious heat. Stella's such a loser. She was so busy not getting eaten that she left the actual loot in the snow. That's my XP right there. Can't let it just sit around. I dry off, slide into my nanothermal suit, grab the tactical axe, and head out. Time for a little midnight stroll. Plus, I gotta see if those guard dogs in the booth have turned into popsicles yet. It's 3 a.m. The storm's chilling out, but it's still negative 50 degrees. Pure death zone vibes. At this temp, steel snaps like a cheap cracker. One tap and shatter. But out here on the west side, something dark is moving. This kit cost me a literal fortune. Totally worth it, though. It's graphene fabric with micro heaters and a nuclear cell at my hip. Keeps me a cozy 77 degrees. The helmet has heat vision, and the mask keeps the zombie lung rot out of my system. Tactical axe in hand. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Every step in the snow feels heavy. 50 yards out. Stella's fan club, the zombie dogs, are still hanging around the booth. They're scratching the metal walls, making that awful screeching sound. 7 of them total. I'm marking targets on my HUD. These things are vicious, but right now, they're totally clueless. The cold hasn't killed them, but they're frozen stiff, moving like they're underwater 30% slower than usual. Go time. I launch off the snowbank like a black streak of lightning. Dog number 1 is still barking when my axe eats its face. It never even saw me. Level 1 dog down, plus 5 XP. Now the other 6 are officially pissed. The big one, a nasty Tibetan Mastiff, spins around with those glowing green eyes. Creepy as hell. It charges. This thing is a literal tank on 4 legs coming straight for me. It's inches away, teeth aimed at my throat. I just wait. Left hand out, aimed at the floor. Poof. 6 feet of ice and dirt just disappear into thin air. My signature move. 1 second there's ground, the next, nothing but a hole. It's a 10-foot drop. The Mastiff's own weight sends it diving headfirst into the pit with a sickening thud. A loud times crunch times echoes up from the bottom. I jump in right after it. 1 clean swing and the head goes rolling. Elite kill, plus 20 XP. And look at that, a level 1 power core, jackpot. Nice. No time for the small fry yet. I gotta get my hands dirty. Digging through brain mush until I find it a glowing red pebble the size of a fingernail. This is the only currency that matters in the apocalypse. One of these bad boys was worth a ton of rice in my old life. It's the key. The other 5 dogs are losing their minds up top, but they can't reach me down here. I look up and grin. Relax, guys. You're all getting turned into XP soon enough. I pull a custom nail gun out of subspace. The next 5 minutes, total turkey shoot. Climbed out, checked the bodies. 3 cores. Not a bad haul for a Tuesday. I check the security booth. Dead quiet. I give the door a good kick and walk in. Footprints lead to the highway. And look, a little love note scratched into the wall. Damian, you're gonna pay. I just laughed. Surviving is way worse than dying right now, honey. Especially for 2 losers with massive egos and lives as fragile as paper. I'm out. The storm swallows me up. Next stop? The hospital. And not just for the walkers. I need that antiviral serum. Like yesterday. Stella's probably trading her soul for a snack while I'm ripping through the ruins on my snowmobile. See these streets? Used to be jumping. Now they're buried under 30 feet of ice and snow. I'm literally cruising at street lamp level. Look down and you'll see cars and frozen corpses stuck in the ice like some twisted exhibit at a museum. Spooky stuff. The hospital is just this dark, creepy shell with most of its windows blown out. And the plaza? Wall-to-wall zombies, frozen solid. Most of them are stuck in whatever pose they died in. Some are waiting in line, others were booking it for the exit flash frozen by the cold and sheer panic. But they aren't dead. One whiff of body heat and these suckers wake up fast. System, go quiet. I drop a little juice to wrap a 3-foot silence bubble around me, then start scaling the wall like a literal lizard. I pop the grappling hook, skip the lobby entirely, and haul myself straight up to a window on the 3rd floor. Pharmacy floor. I slide inside. Way less crowd work up here. Just a few zombie nurses drifting around like they lost their car keys. Out comes the tactical axe, moving in dead silent. 2 quick chops and they're down. No mess. I hit the shelves and start a total grab fest. My hand is just a blur. Bottle after bottle vanishes. Antibiotics, stuff for swelling, pills for pain, insulin, blood pressure, meds, everything goes in the bag. I don't care what it is. Grab now. Figure it out later. I'm halfway through when a massive boom of gunfire echoes from downstairs. In this dead silence, it sounds like a literal thunderclap. I scowl, creep to the glass, and peek down at the chaos. 2 armored trucks, total DIY jobs, smash through the gates and plow right into the plaza. Like 8 goons spill out, packing AK-47s and shotguns, just spraying and praying at the zombies closing in. Time to move. They blow the doors wide. Some boss yells, "Get the blood plasma and the drugs. Screw the rest." The leader's got this nasty scar and he's barking orders by the light of his muzzle flash. I see their logo, a black shark. Great, the Black Shark Gang. Guess they finally figured out meds are worth more than gold and decided to pull a night raid. I'm not leaving yet though. Nah. I find a nice spot by the window and watch the show through the blinds like it's a movie. These Black Shark dudes have some serious heat. Since the zombies are sluggish from the freezing cold, the gang cuts a path straight for the elevator. But they messed up big time. The noise. It wasn't just the zombies in the plaza they woke up. Every rotbag in the neighborhood and whatever nightmare was hiding in the basement is wide awake the second they stormed that lobby. Then, the floor just gives up. This massive 10-foot-tall freak of nature, all muscle and gray, ashy skin bursts through the concrete from the garage below. Ordinary zombies look like dried-out sticks, but this guy is absolutely jacked, a total tank. Level 2 mutant, the tyrant type. I squint. A level 2 already? Figures. A place like a hospital, basically a buffet of death, grows monsters fast. The gang is losing their minds. What the hell is that? They scream. And then every AK starts rattling at once. The rounds hit the tyrant but barely scratch the surface. Those muscles are like armor plating. The tyrant lets out a roar that rattles my teeth, grabs a hospital bed, and chucks it like a frisbee. 2 thugs get turned into pancakes instantly. Total meltdown. These guys were acting so tough 2 minutes ago, and now they're screaming and tripping over themselves to find the exit. Perfect. My eyes are practically glowing. I don't give a damn about the gang's lives. I just want that tyrant's level 2 crystal core. That little beauty will boost me to the next tier and probably unlock a sick new skill. It's a top tier drop. Plus, those 2 armored rides look pretty sweet to me. Properly modified armored trucks, way better than my snowmobile for hauling gear and people. I'll just chill and let the gang soften the tyrant up, then let the tyrant finish the gang off. Win-win. 5 minutes later, it's quiet downstairs. The gang is toast and the tyrant is looking pretty beat up. I dive off the 3rd floor. Mid-air, I yank a bundle of TNT from my stash, the fuse is already sizzling. Happy holidays, big guy. I adjust my dive and toss the explosives right into the tyrant's massive, open mouth. His instinct is basically zero. He bites down like it's a snack. I hit the floor, roll like a pro to kill the momentum, and duck behind a concrete pillar. The blast rocks the whole building. When the smoke clears, there's just a massive, headless corpse slumped on the tiles. I walk over and poke through the mess. Finally, buried in the charred remains, I find a walnut-sized gem glowing deep blue. Crystal core. Level 2. Power crystal found. High purity energy detected. Upgrade now? Heck yeah. The core melts into a wave of heat that flows right through my hand. Every bone in my body starts popping and clicking. I can feel the power surging through every single fiber of my being. My senses just doubled in a heartbeat. System upgrade done. Level 2. New skill unlocked. Space blade. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Space blade burns my brain to rip a 1-meter hole in the middle of thin air. Forget armor. Forget shields. I just look at my hand, think it, and a hair-thin line, blacker than a goth soul, pops out of my finger. I drag it across this heavy-duty military truck like it's warm brie, slicing through hardened steel in one perfectly smooth, terrifying line. Completely broken. I pull the power back, totally satisfied. I eye those 2 idling armored rigs and take it all: the trucks, the gear, everything. Today's pharmacy raid was a massive win meds, a level up, and a sweet surprise bonus to boot. This is how you win the apocalypse. I jump on the sled, rev the engine to a scream, and disappear. Day 15 of the end. The city esports arena smells like a dumpster fire inside, thick with the rot of death, sour trash, and the absolute stench of people losing hope. A stadium built for 50,000 now barely holds 30,000 starving survivors. Order is gone. When the generators finally gave up the ghost last night, the very last spark of civilization went dark with them. Food's gone. Open the damn storage room. The brass is hoarding snacks while we're out here chewing bark. Then the riot explodes. Thousands of starving people crash through the guard lines, surging toward the command zone like a freak wave. Shots, screams, and the sound of ripping skin just blend together. Stella's hiding in a bleacher corner, white-knuckling a snow shovel with a dull, rusty blade. This week has been absolute nightmare fuel. Her soft hands are covered in nasty frostbite and blood blisters now. The clear system is her only hope, but it's basically turned her into a glorified pack mule. Troy skids up, face looking like a crime scene. He's got a fire axe and the wild, desperate eyes of a cornered wolf. Word is the zombie horde just broke the outer walls. This place is about to become a giant coffin. We're out. Out where? Stella looks at the blizzard, eyes empty. It's -60 out there. Stepping outside is basically committing suicide by ice. West District. We find Damian. I've done the math. Just the 2 of us isn't enough. But what if we bring thousands with us? No wall can stand against an army of people with nothing to lose. Commander Wang still has the tanks and the heavy guns. If you tell him there's a heated, powered bunker out west, what do you think he'll do then? Something dark flickers in Stella's tired eyes. Her despair turns into pure venom, then hardens into savage hate. Why should I suffer while he lives like a king? 10 minutes later, the office. Wang is sweating through his shirt, yelling at his guys to burn files before they hit the road. "Sir, I've got the spot," Stella says, not even flinching at the gun barrel in her face. "I know where the food is. Tons and tons of food. Generators. A base that's built like a literal fortress. All of it." "What was that? If you're lying, I'll end you right now." "I'm not lying, sir." Stella talks fast to sell the lie. He's an awakened hoarder. Before the world ended, he emptied every cold storage unit in the entire city. It's in the West District, in that old warehouse. We take that, and we all survive. Every single one of us. Wang's eyes light up with that gross, desperate kind of greed. Good, very good. He grabs the map and slams his hand down on the West District. Spread the word. Everyone, listen up. Anyone who wants to eat, anyone who wants to live, follow me. We're hitting the West District. First ones through, get whatever they can carry. The mob instantly forgets they were just killing each other. Pure, unadulterated class rage fills the silence, becoming the most powerful force keeping this army of the desperate together. 30 minutes later, 5 armored tanks lead the way into the freezing white void. A dozen modified trucks follow, with thousands of survivors trailing behind into the blizzard. They've got guns, axes, pipes, anything that kills. Their eyes burn with pure envy and survival mode. Stella's in the lead truck, munching on a biscuit. The commander gives her a nasty smirk, and she feels her own mouth twitch. "Damian, I'm bringing a whole army to your porch. Let's see you try to shut us out now." At the back of the line, drawn by the smell of life, a zombie tide follows in silence. I killed those alarms ages ago. I'm standing by the massive window in a sharp black tactical coat, glass of red wine in hand, looking like a fancy conductor watching the parade crawl through the snow. The system pings a warning. I watch the screen fill with red dots, and I can't help smiling. Massive hostile force incoming. 5 armored vehicles and 3 heavy machine guns detected. 2 RPG rocket launchers. 12 awakened. 3,000 plus goons, followed by 5,000 plus brain munchers. All just for me? 3 level 2 mutants too. They really think I'm a big deal. I just take a slow sip of my wine. That's enough firepower to flatten a whole capital city, but honestly, I'm not even sweating. If anything, I'm actually getting pumped. Being stuck inside for the last few days has been a total snooze fest. Nothing but grinding my stats and watching old movies. Living life right on the edge of a blade, that's the only way to actually enjoy this whole apocalypse mess. The rumble of armored engines drowns out the blizzard. Then, Commander Wong's voice blares. Stop the convoy, 500 meters from the base. Yo, whoever's inside, we're the official rescue squad from Shelter 7, so listen up. We're taking your gear and your house. Emergency rules. Drop your guns right now and open the gates. Play nice, and you're our new special advisor. Safe and sound. Yeah, right. You mean I'll be your special slave. Wong's face drops. He totally wasn't expecting me to talk back. Fine, do it the hard way, he says, waving his hand. Stella, you're the breaker. Get up there and show this kid what real pressure feels like. Now, she snatches the megaphone and climbs the armored truck. The ice-cold wind almost blows her off, but she looks absolutely murderous. Look around. You're trapped. Look at all these people. They're literally starving to death out here. I just smirk, hovering my finger over a big red button on the dash. You're just hoarding all these supplies for yourself. Don't you feel bad? Open the gate now and maybe we won't hate your guts forever. Or we'll just rip you apart ourselves. Still so clueless. Wong loses his cool and starts barking out the order. You think this crowd scares me? Nah. You just brought me a human shield. Time for a space refraction field. That rocket hits a literal invisible mirror. It flips right back around and slams headfirst into one of their own trucks. Boom, a huge wall of fire. That truck full of fighters is basically just burning scrap now. Metal and body parts are falling from the sky. What the? Fire back. Everybody just open season. A storm of bullets slams into the walls, but they're barely even scratching the paint. I snap my fingers. My turn. Defense is up. Mines armed. The ground just gives way right under the guys leading the charge. It's not just holes, it's a massive field of high-explosive mines just waiting to go off. Constant explosions ripple through the air like a never-ending string of firecrackers. The snow turns red instantly. Hundreds of people just vanish. Everyone panics and tries to back up, but the rear is still pushing forward. Total, absolute chaos. And then it gets even worse. A massive, bone-chilling roar echoes from the back of the snowy field. Those 5,000 zombies were drawn in by the noise and blood. Now they're baring their teeth. They aren't just wandering anymore. They slam into the back like a pack of rabid dogs. Help! Zombies! They're coming from behind us! Mines and a fortress ahead, endless zombies behind. These conquerors are officially the meat in a very nasty sandwich. Stella, use your power. Clear those mines. Wang is losing it, jamming his pistol right against her temple. Stella is shaking like a leaf. She throws every bit of energy she has into clearing the path. A couple of mines blink out, but the field is huge. Her power is basically a drop in the ocean. Not even a minute later, her nose starts bleeding and she passes out on the roof. Total waste. Wang kicks her off the roof, dives back inside, and tries to turn that armored car around to bolt. Cute attempt. You came all this way, so you might as well leave a souvenir. I stand on the terrace, raising my fist. Space blade slash. A pitch-black rift you can actually see just rips right through the air. Dead silence. That 10-ton armored rig gets sliced perfectly in half. The cut is smoother than a fresh mirror. Everything inside the truck is suddenly exposed. Every soldier and every zombie just stops. They're paralyzed by that one hit. The battle lasts 3 whole hours. Except for a few lucky souls who vanished into the snow, that 3,000-strong army is basically history. The snow stops. A pale, weak moon hangs over the horizon, lighting up this literal hell on Earth. Only 2 people are left standing. Stella and Troy. Talk about lucky. Getting kicked off that truck early meant they missed the first giant explosion. They hid under the truck's wreckage and played dead. That's the only reason they're still kicking right now. Too bad there's nowhere to run. I'm right here. The gate creaks open. I'm not even wearing any tactical armor. Just a black shirt, a tactical axe, and my boots. I start walking toward them, slow and steady. Every step they take feels like a 100-pound weight on their souls. Stella's literally on her knees, face a bloody mess, hands turning that nasty shade of frozen purple. She's dragging herself toward me on all fours. I messed up, okay? Seriously, I didn't want this. I was backed into a corner. It was all Commander Wang. He's the one who twisted my arm. You know me, I'm a total chicken. We both got played. Troy hits the deck and starts bowing like his life depends on it. Damian, man, please, for old time's sake, just let me walk. I'll be your dog forever, I swear. I pull up exactly 2 meters away and just stare. I reach into subspace and pull out a whole dining set, followed by a little clay stove. Fire it up, broth in. Soup base follows. Seconds later, that spicy, savory kick hits the air, straight up overpowering the metallic stink of blood. Then comes the lamb, paper thin. I start swirling it in the pot, totally taking my sweet time. Getting hungry now. I lift a piece, give it a little blow. Stella and Troy, they're practically drooling, but their eyes are pure terror. I take a bite. Slow, loving every second. Funny, because I remember begging you guys the exact same way once. Stuck behind that door, dying for a drop of water. Even a stale, gross cracker would have been a miracle. Remember what you said? Stella's shaking too hard to even breathe. Food is for winners, Damian. Trash like you, waste of oxygen. I put my sticks down, my eyes way colder than the blizzard outside. Now it's my turn to say it back. I stand up, tactical axe catching the moonlight like a jagged piece of silver. Troy. He looks up, hope written all over his face. You said you'd die for Stella, right? That you loved her? Is that still the plan? Troy looks at her, then back at me. Kill her. Do that, and you're in. Warm room, hot food. Heck, I'll even give you the serum, make you a super soldier. I toss a blade into the snow. He won't do it, Stella. She looks at him like she's seeing a monster, backing away. Troy, you wouldn't. Tell me you wouldn't. Troy's eyeing the knife, then my warm fortress, then the broken wreck of a woman in front of him. Sorry, babe. Priorities. He grabs the knife and charges, face all twisted. You heard him. If you're gone, I'm safe. You're basically dead anyway. Just take one for the team, okay? Stella screams. Pure survival mode. She's about to pop. One final, desperate move. Her brain power is tapped out, but she lands the hit. The knife flies off, but Troy's already pinning her down, hands locked around her throat like a vice. Die. Just freaking die. They're rolling in the red snow, scratching and biting like rabid dogs. I just watch. It's like a bad comedy show. Finally, they both just collapse, gasping for air. Stella's face is a mess. Troy's half blind now. Not bad. I give them a sarcastic little clap. Too bad I was lying. Axe goes up. I don't keep garbage in my house. Their screams hit the cold air, then thwack. Axe meets bone. Debt collected. I don't wait around or give the bodies a second thought. Back inside, fire's roaring. I walk over to the massive window and watch the storm rage on the other side of the glass. I grab the good stuff from the cabinet-aged whiskey and pour 2 rounds. One for the idiot I used to be. The other, a toast to this beautiful, messed up, kill or be killed world. This time, I'm the one who makes the rules.